Folk Hogan Podcast. The Folk Hogan Podcast is a podcast all about us and our band. Moses, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Just dealing with being a guy that can't handle heat above 90 while living in Utah in the summer.
Oh, heard.
And other than that, I feel like I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, I was outside working today, and so I hard relate.
Yeah, brutal. That's it's a tough one for me. I moved out of Phoenix for a reason.
And now Utah's become Phoenix.
Yep, it's
for a
not
reason.
Going great, but that's what I got to deal with, I suppose. So, how are you, Chips?
So good.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to make my microphone come closer to me. Oh, there we go.
Buy it a drink.
There we go. And I just realized that I wasn't wearing my glasses. I went like this. I'm like, where'd they go? Well, they went away because you get the laser surgery.
Yeah.
To put lasers in your eyes.
Laser eyes. You're the third member of Folk Hogan to have gotten LASIK.
I know. And all
Fourth.
in the same place. And I was like, you could have a signed picture of us. And they weren't interested. Yet.
Well, give it time.
And I've been mailing them one every 3 days with increasingly threatening vibes. Here's a signed picture of us wrap it around a brick and throw it through the front window.
Yeah. I'll get the point across. If there's anything that doctors love, it's being threatened. So, yeah. What have you been up to? You worked outside all day?
Worked outside all day. I haven't ridden the Vespa yet. I tried to ride it.
You mentioned the battery was dead.
But the battery was dead. So I need to put a tender charger.
Yeah.
A trickle charger.
Do you have one?
A battery tender on it.
Do you have one?
I don't have any kind of charger.
I do. So
yeah,
you can borrow something.
It's very easy to access. It's only like under one panel.
Yeah. Yeah, I got one you can borrow.
And some motorcycles, it's just right there. It's the battery. You can just lick it and see if it's still good, like a 9-volt.
Yeah.
If Cameron was here, we would use his tongue. He's the designated 9-volt licker of the band.
It's true. It used to be Jared, and then Jared left the band, and we assigned it to Cameron. And so if you have a 9-volt battery that you're not sure if it's good, bring it to a show. Ask Cameron to lick it. He'll take care of it for you. It's not a big deal. His pain is our gain. So, yeah, we don't mind anything like that. Yeah, you can borrow my trickle charger anytime, dog. I got 3 of them. So
yeah, I usually ride year-roundish.
Yeah.
So it's really unusual for me to have to charge a battery. But lately, I've been splitting my time going back and forth between my girlfriend's house and my house. And when I do that, I load up the dog. And she doesn't have a motorcycle endorsement yet.
Yet.
No thumbs.
You got to get her one of those tiny little dog helmets with the little dog, goggles. Be adorable. Get a little sidecar.
Oh, I've thought about it.
Yeah. I don't doubt that.
I've thought many thoughts about this.
Yeah.
Because she would need the proper attire.
Yeah, of course. A leather vest with some threatening patches on it.
I once took her to my claim to fame is I took her to the dog park once. And as I showed up, the people there didn't know me and they said, oh, we were just talking about the dog that always has really good outfits.
Yep.
So I've got nearly enough that I think I could go buy a pack of baby hangers and fill them up and still need another pack because she's got some clothes.
I mean, you just need to put on a fashion show.
Yeah.
We need to have a show where Folk Hogan plays the music and Piggy gets dressed up and marches down the runway just over and over again in different outfits.
Yeah, and I can squeeze her into a toddler 5T as well. So every once in a while, I'll look through the racks at the thrift store,
So, man.
see if I can find her anything funny.
And she's adorable too. So,
But she has a little like pearl snap like button up,
yeah.
and so she just looks like a tiny,
Tiny hipster.
yeah, not Dog the Bounty Hunter, but drive-ins, diners, and
Oh, Guy Fieri.
yeah.
Yeah. She get her a little, you just spike that hair up. Get some gel in there.
Yeah, I mean,
Let her drive a convertible. Take her bowling. Yeah, she's adorable. I'm all for the piggy fashion show at a show. I'm all for that.
I mean, the closest thing that we've done is we've been the live band for performers before.
For a burlesque show.
For a burlesque show, yeah. And that was amazing.
It was incredible.
It was so popular that the next month, the whole thing got shut down permanently.
Yeah. Sorry
I think we did too good of a job bringing people there.
Yeah.
And word got out about it. And, sometimes even if you're not breaking the law.
Yep. Pressure.
Being accused of breaking the law is just as good for a very small business.
Yeah, we did a Behind the Zion Curtain was the name of the group.
Yep.
If I recall. And we played at formerly Bar Deluxe, now Beehive Social Club, as part of Mark of the Bistro, which now does coffee for those of you that don't know. You can rent out the back and have shows there. And Behind the Zion Curtain planned this all-ages burlesque show. They would periodically do this where they would have a band come in and they would take albums of the band to all the performers and go, hey, pick songs that you would like to dance to. And they picked songs from our catalog. And
they had the option to rehearse with us beforehand or just to the recording and be good with that.
Yeah. And then we squeezed into a tiny little corner of the stage.
Yeah.
So that they could have the rest of the stage to perform on. And it was so much fun. We had an auction as well.
Yeah, unreasonable amounts of fun.
Yeah, we auctioned off a bunch of rare Folk Hogan items. And we bought at the auction a flask, this glass flask.
Yep, we have it still.
My dear friend Jack performed with. And I think we paid $50 out of our band fund for this gigantic glass flask that just sits on our wall. It's a trophy.
Yeah, it's just a very old-timey glass flask with like a leather strap around the top third.
It's really neat. So yeah, that was so much fun. So yes, if you want to do doggy burlesque, you can have Piggy do doggy burlesque, and we'll play too.
Yeah, I was like. There's we need to take the concept of goat yoga and make it a dog Folk Hogan something.
I've never heard of goat yoga, so this is
what?
It's
have you heard of puppy yoga?
No.
People. No. Oh my goodness! I spent too much time on the internet. I mean, I don't know where the dogs are coming from, and I like it worries me when I see it because I'm like, oh, is this like. Is there some like group of like bad backyard breeders that are just cycling out puppies? Where are they getting fresh inventory from?
Yeah. So there's new puppies at every one?
I mean, I think they reuse the puppies for at least a few events, but the fact that they're always puppies is what concerns me.
I see.
As long as we're talking about animal cruelty things, roughly, or even joking about them, a new vertical location opened up right around the corner.
Oh, Vertical Diner?
Yeah. It is
right
Vertical Deli.
Ooh. Okay.
I'll look up the address, but it's roughly about 33rd and State. So really close to
Okay.
Really close.
I'm into that.
I don't even know if they have a Google listing yet.
I'm a big fan of. I will go there and I will get. I forget the name of the dish off the top of my head, but essentially get their poutine, but add their tiger wings to it.
Oh wow,
that's the jam. That is the
jam. That's a really okay. So
it's delightful.
So we're gonna we usually record 2 podcasts at a time.
Yeah.
So even though this is gonna come out in a week or two, it's currently June 2nd, Monday.
Yeah.
And they're on 3245 South State. And it's Vertical Deli, and they are just doing so the focus of this is accessibility. This is such a good concept, not just because they've been around and done business for 27 years and now they know how to do something. They know how to fix all the problems that you don't when you're doing something the first time. But they're super focused on accessibility in multiple forms. The building itself is very easy to get in and out of with a wheelchair. There are 70 parking spots available.
Oh, wow. That's incredible considering their normal location is difficult to get in and out of.
Every downtown business is difficult to get in and out of, right? Like that. They fix the pain points as a customer and as a business that we all share to experience. The things that we have to push aside, they fix some of these pain points. So, and then it's inexpensive. And then the hours are easy to remember because it's 9 to 9, 7 days a week. So you don't have to go like, oh, I really want to go support this local business. Wait, what is it? It's a Tuesday. Dang it, they're not open. It's a Monday. Oh, it's a Wednesday. What's the point of opening a business if you're not going to like take time for yourself and stuff? I get a lot of these things, but all of these quirky little things that then become the pain points for the customers and the business and then end up like years down the road as a sad Instagram post about why they're closing.
Yeah.
Like they fixed a lot of these things. They've made a lot of mistakes in the past and learned from that, because at one point they had a grab and go 100% raw vegan place. At one point they had a diner, a dinner place, Sage's, and they had the pizza place that was the original vertical location.
Yeah.
So the deli has grab and go items, which is something that they've been doing over at the restaurant for the last couple of years, and it's really, really popular because they're right by a train station.
Right. Just real quick.
So,
not sponsored.
Not sponsored. We just love Vertical Diner, and we love food, and we love. So, anyways, easy to get into, inexpensive, consistent hours, and just a great concept on stuff, building on stuff that we already enjoyed.
Good. I know last episode we talked about places that are gone, but whenever I think about Vertical Diner, I can't help but think about Bayleaf Cafe.
Oh, Bayleaf, yeah.
And Bayleaf Cafe was
what a spot.
A little diner that was on Main Street that was open till 1 a.m. that served beer until 1 a.m. I think they were open till like 3 or 4, but they served beer till 1 a.m. And it was such a bizarre thing because like you'd see all these drunk people heading in like right before 1 o'clock to grab a couple beers and eat food. And at the same time, you'd see a bunch of jazz players coming in to like pick up meals. And so it was just like athletes and like drunken messes everywhere. It was such a blast. I enjoyed that place. So sorry to come back to the topic from last week, but
yeah, I mean, what's a local business? What's another local business that we would want to highlight? What's cool about Salt Lake that isn't a music venue?
I mean, sort of music venue adjacent. Heavy Metal Shop is like, it's a landmark. Aces High,
Yeah.
I really think deserves, it is sort of a metal bar, but more so it's just like, it's a pretty cool venue. It's not super big, but it's a fairly comfortable place. They got a large patio.
Mm-hmm.
That place is great. The people that work there are awesome. The drinks are reasonably priced. They now have someone doing food there again.
Ooh.
They had a kitchen at one point, and they now have basically a
Bringing it
third
back.
party that's running the kitchen now.
That's cool.
So like, that's another really good spot. It's like located well, and it's kind of fits that neighborhood bar that has music type of thing. And it's not always just metal. We've played there a ton.
Yeah.
We've seen folk bands and bluegrass bands and all sorts of stuff there.
Yeah, they've always
So-
been like metal, outlaw country, and something else was like their main focus.
Yeah, that place is a blast.
And punk.
Yeah, so I'm always happy to shout that place out. But
Good picks.
admittedly, I'm hungry right now.
Yeah.
So there's like a million food places
all I've been
coming to
doing
mind.
is talking about food for
So-
the last 12 years.
Yeah, I mean, it is what brings us.
And
all
I showed up
together.
again without a loaf of bread.
Heartbroken.
I know.
I miss your sourdough bread. I
It
miss
needs
it.
to happen.
Yeah.
This whole week I've been baking them in loaf pans and just using an extra one on top
Yeah.
to seal in all the moisture so you get a really good rise in spring. And then for the last 10 minutes, you take the lid off and it gets brown on the top.
Okay.
And it just almost perfectly works to where it gets like a perfect crust on the top, like it has on the inside where it's touching the pan. And the only issue is getting it out of the loaf pan. And I used to use Crisco all the time for my loaf pans, and in my laziness, I just haven't gone and bought more Crisco. I just don't.
Yeah.
It's a hot summer day. It's the last thing on my mind
Right.
is, can I go buy some like gelatinous vegetable fat right now?
Right. Yeah.
I already feel like I'm carrying around a lot of gelatinous vegetable fat right now. I'm trying to get rid of some of it.
Yeah. Well,
Trying to eat a little bit
You know,
better. Trying to exercise more.
just use Crisco for what it was intended for, which is lubricant.
Yeah.
And buy yourself one of those silicone bread pans, and you can just
It was good enough for Jeffrey Dahmer.
if it's good enough for fisting, it's good enough for cooking. Yeah, there's so many good food places lately that I've been to that I just there's a place I've been going to in Ogden. I work up there a couple days a week that is just phenomenal.
Ooh, yeah. What is it?
I think it's, if I recall correctly, it's called Don Carlos Tacos. It's
Ooh.
on Harrison Boulevard. That place rules.
Ogden has good Mexican food.
It does. Ogden has a lot of good things. Ogden really, like,
It's like Salt Lake
all of us Salt Lake folks,
many years ago.
we used to give it a bad rap, and anyone in Salt Lake that's still giving Ogden a bad rap hasn't been there in 20 years.
No.
Because Ogden rules now and has ruled for a long time. And there's so many incredible bands up there and so many like cool places to see bands that, like, I get it. People from Salt Lake don't want to drive to Provo or Ogden for a show, but go get a hotel room, have a night out in a neighboring city. It's like staycation adjacent.
There you go.
You'll have
That's
such a
good plan.
blast. There's so many awesome bands in both locations. There's really only, if you're looking to go to a bar, there's one place to go in Provo, but there's a dozen in Ogden.
Yeah.
And the food's better, and getting around the city is pretty easy, and it's a nice spot. I dig it. But that taco place is rapidly becoming my favorite.
That's
So,
awesome.
they make gringas, which is like it's like a open-faced taco that is a cheese melt as well.
Ooh.
It's my jam. I'm in love with it.
Yeah, I just hit up Rancheritos today,
Oh man, been ages.
and they have like such a good veggie burrito. It's everything that you've ever wanted in a veggie burrito, and you don't have to modify it or change it
Yeah.
to be that way.
Yeah, Don Carlos Street Tacos is what it's called. We're hoping to get up there into Ogden and do a show with Hi-Fi Murder soon.
Yes.
I bought Nick, the singer. I bought his motorcycle recently, and so we've been trying to throw a show together. And I just love getting up there and playing shows. They set up they've got a really cool show that they're trying to put together for a kid's 18th birthday. Just a punk show,
Yeah.
punk backyard show for a kid's 18th birthday.
Wonderful.
They got Hi-Fi Murders always doing cool shows like that.
They
So,
are.
yeah, hopefully we can get something together soon. But there's so many good bands up there. And I mean, Utah is already just like polluted with good bands. And I feel like even some of my favorite Salt Lake bands, I found out about playing shows with them in Ogden because Ogden's scene is awesome. And like Heirs of the Ancient Throne, the first time I saw them was up there.
Oh yeah.
And they are,
Yeah.
when we played with them.
I put that together because
cool.
I saw them at Beehive, and I was just like, "What? Wow!
Yeah.
Wow! What? Wow!"
Yeah. They're like a Renaissance inspired, like power metal. They're kind of power metal-y.
Kind of progressive, kind of power.
Yeah,
kind
they're
of,
just cool.
Yeah.
They all dress in robes and very much follow the sort of Renaissance type of vibe that they give. And they're so cool. Jake Mann plays bass for them, and Jake rules. Max Milner plays keys for them. Max rules. They're such a good time. Yeah, there's been so many incredible bands up there. There's so many good bands in Salt Lake too. Like, we need to have another show with Baby Girl soon, or I'm gonna lose my mind.
yeah.
I miss them.
We have so many influences that are local.
Yeah. Yeah, Baby Girl, I would do anything for that band. I love that band. If you haven't seen Baby Girl, you are doing yourself a disservice because that band rules. Two-piece, just drums and bass. Jordan Fairbanks on drums, Chris Wadsworth on bass. And, sort of on the heavier side of things, but they are just an absolute hoot. They're so much fun to watch play. And they're so interesting too. And also, if you go see Baby Girl, chances are Tom's going to be there, which is Chris's husband. And Tom rules. I adore Tom. So, can't recommend them enough. I don't know. We recently did that. We talked about this a few weeks back. We did that show at Piper with Chad Sucks.
Oh, they were great.
And like everyone in that band is in two other bands.
Yeah.
And every one of those bands is good. It's weird to think about how much talent there is here. And I mean, I'm sure that most cities are that way, but like I do feel spoiled.
I don't think they are though.
Yeah.
There's a reason Salt Lake is a big music market.
Yeah. I'm pretty
Yeah.
happy about it. I'm pretty thankful to have the community that exists here. Who's a person that deserves a shout out?
Who?
Is Parker Meadows. Or sorry, Parker Meadows. That's a baseball player. Parker McIntyre.
Yeah.
I have many times shouted him out from the stage that like it's people like Parker that keep music scenes alive. that go to shows constantly, that are involved in bands that they're not even in helping them create shows and put things together, constantly going out to see bands, constantly working on his own bands. That dude's incredible. He's a really good musician. He's a hoot to be around. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
And
he's a really good cook.
Really?
Yeah.
If
you ever have a chance to eat anything that he's made.
All right.
He has a hot sauce that he puts out every year that gets sold out.
Yeah.
But he also is just a good cook in general.
Hell yeah.
He makes a mean chili.
Yeah. A fellow mandolin player as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I and his band, Captain Daniels and the Sunnybrook Sailors, we've played with them a ton of times, and they're always just so awesome.
Yes. That's how I initially met Jess.
Oh yeah.
And Jess and him were in a band together, and she was playing a variety of instruments in Captain Daniels. And then she now I don't want to say it right ever again. She moved to Germany, and so we spent like a whole day on tour, or multiple days on tour, hanging out with her.
Yeah, Jess rules.
We went to the Disneyland castle.
She came on tour with us to Southern California years ago.
Yeah.
And it was a blast. Oh. She's a ton of fun to hang out with. I was so happy to see her on that castle day.
Yeah. It was really fun.
She totally didn't expect any of us to show up because she assumed we would all be far too hungover.
Because of the previous night.
Because of the previous night. And I mean, she was accurate, but we made it.
Some of us were a little red-eyed.
We maybe had to make a couple stops on the drive for people to expel. But it turned out pretty good. Still had a good time. And there's if you ever want to look it up, there's a castle in Germany called, and I'm not even going to attempt to spell it.
It starts with a G.
No, it was.
No, it doesn't.
The castle is Neuschwanstein Castle.
Oh, not even close.
And it is in like very, very, very southern Germany, right on the border of Austria. And it is the castle that Disneyland based their castle design off of. And it is, you can take tours of it and go through the castle and see all this crazy stuff.
Because of the tall penis-shaped pillars?
That's part of it. That's part of it.
You got to look for this castle on VHS.
Yeah. You get
a Little Mermaid VHS copy.
They're out there in the puffy case. You remember those puffy cases?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love old technology.
Yeah.
Because of how much of it has changed through our lifetimes.
I mean, my grandmother had laser discs.
Yeah, laser discs were super hot for like a flash.
Yeah. She had like the 80s laser disc player.
Now they're insanely valuable.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that she had the full Star Wars trilogy.
Ooh.
All the Indiana Jones movies. She had like a ton of these Laserdisc movies.
All right, I'm going to look up Star Wars trilogy on Laserdisc on eBay.
And she sold the entire lot, I want to say, for like $300 of the player and all of the movies. So I'm certain that you're about to break my heart for my grandmother. Because I can only imagine what the value of a Star Wars Laserdisc is on its own. What'd you get? What'd you find? Use your Google foo.
Ooh. Not as expensive as I thought that would be.
Okay.
Not as expensive as I thought it would be. $74.99.
That's not bad.
There's a sealed one, never played, for $180.
Yeah, that's not bad.
There's a 1997 special edition for 7410 or best offer.
They were still making them in 1997?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. There's
And I don't know if this is the same thing, because I'm talking about the cartridge laser discs. I don't know enough about technology, new or old, to
what do you mean a
even
cartridge? What does this mean?
It was a cartridge that had a laser disc in it. So you didn't actually take a disc out and put it in a player like,
the cartridge
like the later
ones.
laser discs.
Yeah.
You like pushed the cartridge in, and then you pulled the cartridge out, and then the disc was like stuck in the machine.
Yeah.
And dude, speaking of like old technology, the other day someone left out on the corner of their property with a free sign on it, one of those drawer units for VHS movies. And I was like, man,
where'd you get that from?
That's a tough sell. I don't know who's gonna pick that up. But
yeah, I don't know, man.
It's weird to think how technology's changed just in the course of this band.
I don't know. I don't know what those cartridge laser discs are called specifically. CED, single movie disc.
No idea.
Google is like, I wasn't around. How should I know?
When we were about to release the first album, we had a conversation as to whether we should even print CDs or not.
Yeah.
Because we felt like, hey, people don't really buy CDs anymore. And that was 2012. And I was against it. And I was against it because my dad played in a band in the early 2000s that they got 1,000 CDs for their band, and there was a stack of boxes of those CDs kicking around for years.
Yeah.
And he wasn't happy about it, that those were still kicking around, and I think it was just a bad reminder. And
yeah,
and so
in that era, every musician at some point had a similar experience.
Yeah. So I was against printing 1,000. I got outvoted, and I'm glad I did, because we're happy to announce that our first album, Band of Mighty Souls, has gone cardboard. It's almost gone double cardboard. For those of you that don't know,
because there's no
you've heard of like a
boxes.
platinum record, you've heard of a gold record. Well, way down that list is a cardboard record, and that's what happens when you sell 1,000 physical copies.
I don't think so.
We're almost at 2,000. So, and that's exclusively physical sales. But we continued to print CDs for the next 2 albums. And then for the EP last year and the full length this year, we haven't done it. But even back in those days, in 2012, we talked about just releasing it on like a thumb drive, because there really wasn't the full infrastructure for just releasing something online.
Yeah.
There was a little bit, you still, Apple Music.
Yeah, people were
still a thing.
People were still buying music instead of exclusively streaming it.
Yeah.
Streaming, in my opinion, knocked out pirating.
Yeah.
Not completely. It will never go away. But when it became easier to get on Spotify and have access to anything than to download a torrent, that kind of stopped a lot of the heavy torrenting and downloading that had been going on. And aside from that, there was a small peak of digital sales. Yeah. I mean, there was an era where you could put something on iTunes and people would buy it.
Yeah. And now we're just printing vinyl.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Weird regression.
And
because similar to your grandma, people were just yard selling vinyl records.
Yeah. Yeah, my parents sold a milk crate full of 60s and 70s rock albums.
Yeah.
For like $20 at a yard sale when I was a kid.
Sure.
So they only kept one, and I now have it, which is second pressing of Beatles Abbey Road. So I'm happy to have that. But yeah, so like now we're just printing vinyl, and if you look at the cover for A Full Moon to Guide You, there is a tiny little QR code on it. And if you scan that QR code,
you can go download it.
It gives you the automatic download.
Yeah.
So
selling 1,000 records is often referred to informally as moving 1,000 units.
It's called going cardboard. Come on, Google.
Or just selling 1,000 copies.
Yeah.
However, there are a few related terms depending on the context. Independent milestone in indie music circles, micro distribution success, sometimes used when discussing grassroots or niche market achievements, unit sales. Moving 1,000 units definitely feels more like something on CSI Miami.
Yeah, for
than
sure.
It does.
I
hate the internet.
Even though it's the same thing, I feel it feels like an insult somehow.
Yeah.
So I'll stick with going cardboard.
Ice-T to explain it.
Yeah. I'll stick with going cardboard. I can be proud of that.
Looks like they were trying to move 1,000 units. They call it moving 1,000 units because they actually sell 1,000 of them. Yeah. Some people are sick.
Yeah, so who knows what's going to be next? It's weird, having our music is the product, but it's also not the product, which is odd. Like the point of the band is to make music, and that is the product that we sell by having people come to shows. But like at the merch booth, it is not as much of the product because it's, we also sell so many other things.
Yeah.
And I understand that like all of the things we sell are simply a outgrowth of the music that we made. But
we saw like slow sales of music not slow. We saw music sales for years and years and years. And when it fell off like astronomically hard.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think it was just like, right upon coming back from COVID, really, during that time period where people had to look at the stuff in their house or something.
Right. Yeah.
They're like, I don't want these jewel cases around anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I got a jewel case with Jewel's first record on it.
The reality is that like COVID in general got so many people.
It got a lot of people interested in vinyl.
Yeah. But it also like we got used to streaming things a lot more, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm not complaining.
Always being home,
I'm not
connected to your
complaining
internet.
about not having to have CDs. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I got rid of my physical DVDs many years ago. And I remember even getting into records being like, do you guys what do you guys collect records? Who does that anymore?
Yeah.
And then I was the only one in the room that was like, all of us do.
Yeah.
I was the only one in the room that didn't, and then I flipped 180 on that.
Yeah.
And during COVID, I started a distribution platform for. I started a monthly record mailing platform.
Right.
I was mailing out. I was contacting local musicians when we
Record
all
spread.
were at home, and couldn't do anything with their stuff. And I was buying records from them that were just sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
Not unlike our shelves right over here.
We have so many
that have so many records.
Records and
I have so
CDs
many
and-
records.
Yeah.
I I have 3 albums that I've released on vinyl
Of your solo work.
of my solo stuff. And Folk Hogan now has 3 pressings. And people often ask, when are you going to go back and press the old ones?
Yeah.
And we have no plan of doing that.
Yeah.
Because
The first 2 albums don't fit on vinyl.
they don't fit. So it would become very quickly an expensive project.
Yeah.
What would it be like?
Or we would have to cut a song, and we don't want to do that. And,
Yeah.
yeah. So it sucks because I would love to have them on vinyl, just to have them, but yeah, it just ain't something we're gonna do, unfortunately. We did talk at one time about doing a cassette, and I'm pretty glad we didn't do that. Because I'm happy to not have a bunch of cassettes kicking around. But there was a moment there like 10 years ago where cassettes made a little bit of a comeback. And I'm just happy that we didn't fall into that one. But
Yeah, I was trying to look at the pressing price for an album of that length. Get a rough idea of whether my guess was right or not.
a couple $1,000 would be my guess.
For the double vinyl.
Oh, for the
2
double
discs.
vinyl. Yeah.
Yeah.
It ain't cheap. I know that. $4,000 probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Right about there.
Yeah.
Ballpark. So, that's a lot. That's a lot of Gringa's tacos that Moses could eat.
They're so good. So, yeah, that probably won't ever happen, but we do, if people continue to buy the albums we have, then we will continue to make albums in the future. So
That's a good plan.
yeah, that's the goal. Is to get out and do it, play the shows, sell the stuff. I know I'd really like next year for us to do a Midwest thing so we can go see Rob and Heather and
That would be pretty cool.
jump in their pond in their backyard and ride the zip line in the neighborhood. I'd feel real good about that.
Neighborhood zip line.
Yeah. Right into the pond. So, I don't know.
It doesn't take a big headline to get us to do something.
That's true. Zip line.
Thai buffet. We'll do the tour.
Oh, we
still think about
we
it.
played a Thai buffet in Washington, in the Tri-Cities area, and it was so good. It was so good.
And we've known a ton of musicians that have played there too.
Yeah.
Because it was a former touring artist that started it
Yeah.
and just wanted to have a cool restaurant with music.
Boy, did he accomplish that goal.
Yeah.
Because that place is banging.
It
I loved that
do
spot.
be. Well, we'll be back. We'll be back after this episode with a new episode. But for now, this is all the episode.
Yeah, we're gonna bring Cameron in here, and we're gonna tell some. We're gonna go over some song stuff, and we're gonna tell some tour stories that probably gonna make you blush.
War stories, tour stories.
Yeah,
I love blushing while I'm driving my car listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
Nobody can see me in there.
Hey, thanks for listening. We love you. Don't forget to get your tummy kisses from Cameron like this.
He's got them for you.
Got him. Okay, bye.
Now may I present with no further delay a man with a job that's quite dangerous. He fears